folks, this is Joel583, and today we'll be looking at a bit of a double feature. Transformers, Beast Hunters, Predacons Rising, Cindersaur, and Smokescreen. Normally I save the price for the end of the video, but, well, this one's on the box, so I might as well just say it. I got this at Target for $7. However, it is normally priced at $10, because, again, as you can probably tell, it was on clearance. Why? Not really sure. It was the end of the year. I got this during the pre-Christmas sales, and the box is a bit torn. So there's making room for new stuff and damaged goods. So instead of getting two figures at just a relatively cheaper price, I got basically two for the price of one. I just can't pass that up. I really can't. Especially not when, technically, that is the last Predacon that I've been needing to find. And on the back here we just have the two figures, Cindersaur in robot mode and dragon shark mode. And we have Smokescreen in robot mode and vehicle mode. Alright, and first up we're going to start off with Smokescreen. And I gotta say, visually speaking, he looks pretty good. Mostly in blue, a little bit of silver on the kneecaps, some white spots and stripes, a little bit of red on his chest and arms. The number 38 on both of his car door shoulder wings. Thanks. Yeah, all in all, he does look pretty good. A few small complaints about the robot mode. The arms, right at the shoulders, don't really peg in to the torso. They just kind of sit there. I mean, they have grooves that fit right into the wheels, but they don't peg. They just flop. So you can do a chicken dance. Also, he has some slight gaps right at his feet. At least that's what you get if you stand him up straight. If you try to close the gaps, he's leaning over so much he's probably going to fall over there. One of the few pros that they got to put in there were the makeshift built-in roller skates. I just like that. It's just kind of a hilarious thought that a person can just be roller skating into battle. I just find that funny. And on the back here we have, well, his back, which is basically one big shell. Red heels. It's nicely small detailing. They could be fuel tanks. They could be nitrogen oxide tanks for speed boosting. I really don't know. But there was some nice kind of detailing in there. They could just left that flat and plain, but they chose not to, and I kind of like that. As for posability, you have a ball joint in both shoulders. That's giving a fairly decent range of motion. Little pegs that they clap onto tend to pop off pretty easily. Yeah, you have to have both arms. The legs, you are also on ball joints at the hips. They can go forward, but it's pretty stiff and limited by the top of the car on his back. No knees, and a little bit of ankle, but that's just because of transformation. And as for weapon, we have his unnamed chainsaw gun. Yeah, I looked all over the box. I couldn't find a name for this one. But yes, the third one you've seen on this channel. And as said before, you place the gun on, you can put any peg in any hole, or any hole in any peg, which is good for a lot of play. And I'm always a big fan of being able to store weapons on either the back or on the hips. That's always a plus for me. And the ports he has on his feet offer for a little bit of silliness. Also a plus in my opinion. So let's take a look at the vehicle mode. That was way more work than I think was worth. Seriously, this is the finickiest little thing I've ever actually had to deal with. It has all the frustrations of a shell former without the justifications of being able to call it a shell former. There's still quite a few gaps that I can't get fixed. I mean, a challenging transformation is one thing. A transformation that keeps undoing itself every time you put something else in where it's supposed to go, that's not challenging. That is just no. No. That's just unnecessary. But, transformation aside, you do have a nice little vehicle mode. Gaps and all. The paint is still the same red, white, and blue. Go America. Now all the red is just one big... Now all the red is all just one big shade, broken up by some silver window. That's pretty good. Fits together pretty well. I forgot to mention the white Autobot symbol on the front of his hood. In chest and robot mode. All wheels roll independently. The blue now wraps around the entire car, and the 38s are now on the car doors. That's just a nice little touch. On the bottom, you actually can't see a whole lot of kibble. You can definitely tell what are going to be the feet, just because those are feet. But other than that, I think it hides itself pretty well. And of course, because the hands aren't available, you now only have 3 ports left to store the weapon. The hood, and the sides. And so just because I don't forget them, we have Smokescreen's tech specs. Strength of 5, Intelligence of 8, Speed of 8, Endurance of 6, Rank 7, Courage 9, Fire Blast 7, Skill 8. I can kind of see why Optimus Prime wanted Smokescreen to be the next Prime. He knows what he's doing, he's quick to act, not afraid to do what needs to be done. However, he's not too good in a fight. So, leader by example. All in all, I would have to say for Smokescreen, for this mold for Smokescreen, pick him up if you really, really, really like Smokescreen, or the Prowl repaint that also came out. Because personally, while it does look nice, I can't really recommend it for the finickiness of the transformation. And I don't really like how the arms don't really peg in anywhere, and it's kind of floppy in robot mode. And finally, we have Cindersaur, as in Cinder and Dinosaur. First of all, this is actually a repaint of the figure I've been looking for, Rippersnapper. Yeah, I couldn't find him, but I was able to get a remold for a basically buy one get one free price. I couldn't find any reason to pass this up. I really couldn't. Not the color I've been looking for, but definitely it is the mold that I needed. So we have here is a combination between the American Godzilla and a shark. Got a bunch of purple, some yellow, and a lot of gray. Solid purple legs, tiny purple arms, and a tail that's kind of out of place. It would have been nice if this could actually go, that they filled up this gap a little bit. That would have been nice. Because of the transformations, they're basically stuck with the hollowness. But overall, still looks pretty cool. One glaring issue is a visible head in, frankly, not a good spot for it to be visible in. I can probably tell you a few things about his character. I don't want to say them. Posability, you have the legs are solid pieces of plastic, so no knees. There's a ball joint at the hip. A swivel, also at the hip, but it's kind of pointless. The little arms can go up and down. They can essentially spin as far as they have clearance. If this was actually a thinner figure, these things can go all the way around. And that is about it. And before we go to the robot mode, let's take a look at the weapon. Another unnamed crossbow axe thing. Mostly crossbow. There are really 2 places you can put this in this mode. Arm to the teeth, and a pain on your side. They also can actually fit on the sides of the knees, so there's actually 3 points where you can use them. Well, that was quick. Yeah, transformation is basically just slide this up, slide that up, and spin the head to make feet. That's about it, but I can't really complain because the result is pretty cool. You have a green Predacon logo right on the chest there. The face, which is now more appropriately placed, is a green face with red eyes and a gray head. We now have solid purple arms with the feet hanging off them, and he has a backpack that makes him look like one of the grunts from Halo. Articulation is about the same. Shoulders are now on a ball joint, and it can go in and out. Feet, legs are on a ball joint at the hip, slight swivel at the ankle, and you can deploy some extra heels if you want, which I recommend because this figure is a tad top heavy, mostly in the back. Keeps falling over on me. And as for weapons, we have potentially a lot more. He's got a space on the back, he can fit on the shoulder there, as well as each hand, and inside each hand, and the inside of the elbow. Give me just a second, I'm going to try and do something. Yep, without attaching any weapons to any other weapons, this guy can actually hold all the weapons that I currently have for the Legends class figures. Talk about armed to the teeth. That looks like a character from a usual shooter game where you wind up carrying over 24 weapons at a time. It's silly and I love it. And as for Cindersaur's tech specs, strength of 9, intelligence 1, speed of 3, endurance 10, rank 2, courage 10, fire blast 10, skill 5. So yeah, apparently this guy is willing to go in guns blazing. I swear I did not read that before attaching all the guns to him, because that actually just is very in character for this guy. So as for Cindersaur, very simple transformation, does pull it off pretty well I think. A little goofy in some ways, but still pulls it off. Love him or hate him. That's all I can say about this mold, is either you like it or you hate it. I do like this mold. So yeah, if you can get Cindersaur or the original mold Rippersnapper, I'd say pick him up, or maybe you don't like him, don't pick him up. Alright, and that is Smokescreen and Cindersaur. Again, I got this at Target for $7. The normally marked price is $10. Yeah, I think the two work best in this 2-for-1 deal. Because alone, I can't really recommend either one. I mean, they both look great, but the transformations are sorely lacking. His being too simple, his being too finicky. But together, that's really all I can say. The deal makes up for the flaws. And honestly, I probably wouldn't have gotten these guys if it wasn't for this guy right here. And you'll see why next week, what I need this guy for. But yeah, if you do like the molds, I mean, the molds are pretty good on their own. They look good in both modes. Well, him lacking the beast mode. It's really a toss-up here. Both have strengths, both look good, both have weaknesses that kind of counter the goodness. So I thank you folks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.